Topic 2. Defensive driving, no need for speed course breakdown. This course will be broken out into 4 videos. Topics in this course include defensive driving, navigating the driving experience, video 1, defensive driving, no need for speed, video 2, defensive driving, navigating turns and intersections, video 3, defensive driving, safe backing and parking, video 4. Welcome to defensive driving. This video describes how speed affects the forces that act on your vehicle while driving and how controlling your speed works to prevent skidding, collision, and rollovers. When you complete this video, you will be able to describe the impact of the forces acting on your vehicle as you drive, describe how reaction time, speed, and weight affect your vehicle's stopping distance, list basic techniques for safe braking, evasive steering, preventing skids, and negotiating curves, defensive driving, no need for speed. You have been approached by a top-secret agency who tells you the supply chain is crumbling and the world economy is on the brink of collapse. Only you can save it. To do so, you must safely deliver the goods in your cargo manifest within 24 hours. But the task you face isn't an easy one. You will be challenged by dangerous roads and conditions and confronted with countless obstacles. In addition, you must ensure no other road users are harmed along the way. To help you succeed on your assignment, you will be guided by 4 mentors. Each mentor is a master of one of the 4 factors that affect your driving. You must harness the power of all 4 as they teach you to follow the principles of defensive driving. Meet your mentors. To assist you on your mission, you will be guided by 4 mentors, coaching you as you encounter a series of challenges along your route. Each mentor is a master of one of the 4 factors that will oppose you during your journey, including the legal factor. Larry is a master of regulations, including basic licensing, speed limits, and traffic laws. He knows when these regulations change as you cross borders between states, provinces, or countries. The mechanical factor. Michael is a master of how physics affects a moving vehicle. He knows how to ensure your vehicle is safe to operate and how to control your vehicle on steep grades and other sticky situations. The environmental factor. Edgar is a master of the environment, including road surfaces, weather, traffic, other drivers, pedestrians, and construction. He knows how to plan routes, navigate through traffic, and adapt your vehicle to weather and temperature conditions. The human factor. Henry is the master of the influences that affect your ability to drive safely, including your emotions, distractions, nutrition, sleep habits, and daily exercise. He knows how to handle aggression and fatigue. The forces against you. You've picked up your first load and are now driving to your second appointment. On this step of your mission, you must overcome the natural forces that work against you to cause collisions and rollovers, including gravity, inertia, centrifugal force, and traction. The speed and weight of your vehicle affect the strength of each force. The heavier your load and the faster you drive, the more powerful each force becomes. By controlling your speed, you can minimize the negative impact each force has on your driving. Gravity. Gravity is the downward pull the Earth exhibits on objects. Every object, including you and your vehicle, has a center of gravity, or the point around which an object's mass is concentrated. Tall objects, like your vehicle, have a high center of gravity. This makes your vehicle more likely to tip when it becomes imbalanced, such as when you drive around a corner. Inertia. Inertia tries to keep your vehicle moving at the same speed and in the same direction, which is why your body moves forward when you brake suddenly. The slower your speed, the less you have to fight inertia to stop or change directions. Centrifugal force acts on your vehicle as you turn. It pushes your vehicle away from the path of the curve in an outward direction. The faster your speed, the stronger the outward push. Traction. Traction is the grip your tires have on the road. The amount of traction your tires have with the road's surface determines the amount of control you can maintain over your vehicle. The slower your tires rotate, the more contact they have with the road. Watch your speed. Your deadline is fast approaching. You enter an open stretch of highway and hit the pedal. Larry cautions you to slow down, but with only 14 hours left to save the world economy, you question his advice. He says that in addition to risking fine or penalty, speeding will reduce your field of vision. Decrease the time available to carry out emergency maneuvers. Increase your stopping distance. Increase your risk of skidding. Increase the severity of collisions. Posted speeds are the safe speeds for smaller vehicles driving in good weather conditions. In a heavy vehicle, and when other hazards are present, you should drive below the speed limit so you have extra time to react should an incident occur. Watch your speed. Pay close attention to your speed. In construction and school zones, near railway and animal crossings, in poor light and bad weather conditions, on long stretches of highway, after waking, in mid-afternoon, and at night when your melatonin levels are high. Speed in your field of vision. Larry makes a fair point, but you're still in a hurry and still not convinced. Henry explains that you actually use two fields of vision to assess your surroundings. Central vision, which allows you to focus on the details of what's in front of you. Peripheral vision, which allows you to see objects that are to your sides without moving your head or eyes. Your brain receives information from both fields of vision, but it can only process so much information at once. Your field of vision is greatest when you are stationary. Your brain has enough time to process everything it sees while you are still. As you speed up, there is more information to absorb, and your brain filters out the peripheral to concentrate on what's directly ahead of you. This means you can become blind to pedestrians, other vehicles, or fixed objects that are to your sides. Higher speeds decrease your field of vision. Speed and sight distance. Persuaded by Henry's argument, you slow down. Night falls and the highway begins to wind and twist, reducing your sight distance, how far you can see down the road. You recall that your sight distance should be 12 to 15 seconds, approximately 4 miles, to have enough time to identify and react to hazards. You turn on your headlights to increase your sight distance and see Michael, who warns you not to overdrive your headlights. Your low beams illuminate approximately 250 feet ahead, and high beams illuminate between 350 to 500 feet ahead. You must be able to stop within those distances to avoid collisions with other objects or vehicles. If your speed is greater than your sight distance, you will not be able to see what is coming in time to stop. Note, don't blind other drivers. Switch to low beams when passing oncoming vehicles or when approaching a vehicle from behind. Check your local state rules regarding high beam use. Slow down in lower visibility so you have time to stop. About braking. You see brake lights ahead as you approach a major highway interchange. Michael tells you to ease off the throttle and prepare to stop, as the effectiveness of your brakes is determined by the weight of your vehicle and your speed. Heavier weights and higher speeds increase the demand on your brakes. Braking smoothly and early reduces your risk of collision, as it gives your vehicle and other motorists traveling behind you more time to stop. It also keeps your brakes in good condition and even improves your fuel economy. Michael shares her strategies for the most efficient braking. Downshift to slow your vehicle, even in an automatic. Automatic vehicles may have 2 to 3 gears marked D1, D2, and D3, or L, 2 and 3. D1 or L is the lowest gear. Be smooth and apply even pressure to the brake pedal. Ease off as the vehicle slows. Release the brakes just before the vehicle stops to avoid a sudden jerk. Apply pressure to the brake pedal to hold the vehicle while it's stopped. In some cases, slowing down early can eliminate the need to come to a full stop, which reduces wear on your brakes and requires less energy, i.e. fuel, to recover your speed. Braking systems. Michael says the type of service brakes you have also impacts how effective your vehicle is when stopping, as air brakes have more stopping power than hydraulic brakes. Diesel-powered vehicles may also be equipped with supplementary braking systems, like engine brakes or exhaust brakes that use the power of your engine to slow your vehicle. Note, these systems do not replace your service brakes, but are intended to be used in addition to them. While engine brakes are not designed to be used in stop-and-go traffic and can be dangerous in slippery conditions, if your vehicle has an exhaust braking system, it is best practice to leave it activated at all times, as long as it is permitted in the area. Exhaust braking will slow your vehicle as soon as you take your foot off the throttle, reducing the demand on your service brakes. Air brakes. Air brakes are used on medium and heavy-duty commercial vehicles, typically weighing over 26,000 pounds as they are more powerful than hydraulic brakes. When you apply the brakes, compressed air from the air tanks travels through a series of components to apply force to the brake pads against the drum or rotor. While these brakes are more effective than hydraulic brakes at stopping heavy vehicles, air brakes add a split-second delay while the air travels from the tank to the brake pads. This delay is known as brake lag. When operating a vehicle with air brakes, brake smoothly to control your braking power. Hydraulic brakes. Hydraulic brakes are used on light to medium-duty commercial vehicles, typically weighing up to 26,000 pounds. When you apply the brakes, hydraulic fluid applies pressure immediately to push the brake pad against the drum or rotor without the lag of air brakes. Hydraulic brakes work well in stop-and-go traffic for this reason, but heavy loads significantly reduce their stopping power. When operating a vehicle with hydraulic brakes, brake early, especially with a heavy load. When switching from a vehicle with air brakes to one with hydraulic brakes, take time to get familiar with the stopping power of your vehicle before you leave the yard. Engine brakes. Engine brakes, also known as compression brakes or Jake brakes, are common on tractor-trailers but can also be found on medium-duty vehicles. Engine brakes are most commonly used when descending grades to control the vehicle's speed. Engine brakes are very powerful but also extremely loud, which is why they are often prohibited near residential areas. Exhaust brakes. Exhaust brakes are found on some medium-duty vehicles. They are less powerful than compression-style engine brakes, but the exhaust braking system can be used in all conditions, including stop-and-go traffic and slippery conditions. Stopping distance. Midnight approaches and traffic is flowing smoothly until the vehicle in front of you abruptly stops. You are forced to slam on the brakes, but inertia keeps you moving forwards. You think about the factors that determine your stopping distance, including your reaction time, how quickly you can step on the brakes, and your braking distance, how quickly your vehicle can come to a stop. Your ideal stopping distance is 1 second for every 10 feet of vehicle length, plus 1 second to allow yourself room to stop. For a 41-foot vehicle, this is 40 or 10, plus 1 second equals 5 seconds, which should be your following distance as well. You come to a full stop just inches before the vehicle in front of you, and you breathe a sigh of relief. Remember, give yourself even more time and distance at night and during adverse conditions. When you double the weight of your vehicle, you require double the stopping distance or stopping power. Double the speed you're traveling, you quadruple the required stopping power. Double the weight and speed, you require 8 times the stopping power. Reaction time. Your reaction time is determined by the human factor. How quickly you apply the brakes is influenced by your levels of fatigue, alertness, and distraction, as well as impairment. Braking distance. Your braking distance is determined by the legal, mechanical, and environmental factors. Your current speed, the weight of your vehicle and load, brake lag, how long it takes for your vehicle's brakes to engage, and the current road conditions all determine how quickly your vehicle can come to a stop. Remember, hydraulic brakes have less stopping power than air brakes. Brake fade. Michael explains that most heavy vehicles have drum brakes that slow your vehicle down by creating friction between the brake drum and lining. This friction stops your wheels but also produces heat. While this is safe in moderation, if you brake forcefully or repeatedly, e.g. in stop-and-go traffic, your brakes can overheat and become damaged. When traveling downhill or when your vehicle is overloaded, you can also experience brake fade. This occurs when your brakes overheat and lose stopping power. When this happens, your brakes can fail completely or even catch fire. Both air and hydraulic drum brakes are susceptible to brake fade. In addition to supplementary braking systems, Michael says some new vehicles are adopting disc brakes to combat brake fade, which use brake pads to squeeze the rotor to stop the wheel. Disc brakes can increase stopping distance by 17 to 33% depending on speed and can also reduce brake fade. Important, when your vehicle has drum air brakes, make sure they are properly adjusted during your pre-trip inspection. Skidding. As you were driving around a curve in the rain, you saw a deer in your path and braked hard, resulting in a skid on the wet roads. Although you weren't speeding, you briefly lost control of your vehicle due to the mechanical and environmental factors at play. Skids occur when your tires lose traction and your vehicle slips from your control. Michael says this can be a result of sudden hard movements like overbraking, over-accelerating, oversteering, and sudden downshifts. Edgar adds that the wet roads reduced your traction even further. Together, these factors caused your vehicle to skid when you applied the brakes. Skidding is especially dangerous because it can result in fishtailing or a spine out, both of which can cause serious harm to you, your vehicle, and others. Michael and Edgar agree the best way to prevent a skid is to avoid sudden, hard changes in speed and direction and drive at a speed that is appropriate for road conditions. Never use cruise control in slippery conditions, as it can cause your wheels to spin faster than they should, potentially causing a skid and/or making it more difficult to regain control of your vehicle. Look at the examples below of what would cause you to skid. Cause: overbraking, braking too hard. Effect: your vehicle's wheels lock. Cause: over-accelerating, forceful application of the throttle. Effect: too much power is sent to the drive wheels, resulting in unexpected wheel spin. Cause: oversteering, turning the steering wheel too quickly. Effect: your front wheels slide as your vehicle is pushed forwards by inertia. Your drive tires may also skid. Cause: sudden downshifts. Effect: your wheels can't turn fast enough and lock. Fishtailing. This occurs when your rear wheels lose traction with the road and the back end of your vehicle slides out to the side. You can correct this by steering into the direction of the skid, but if you oversteer, your vehicle will slide out in the opposite direction, like a fishtail. Spin out. This occurs when your vehicle rotates while skidding. A spin out can occur if a fishtail is not corrected or if your vehicle skids while you're turning. Deadheading. Michael says you were fortunate your vehicle was partially loaded and heavy enough to give your wheels greater traction on the road when you slammed on the brakes, preventing further skidding or fishtailing. Air brakes, springs, tires, and shock absorbers work best with a fully loaded vehicle. He says when deadheading, traveling with an empty cargo box, your chance of skidding increases because there is less weight forcing your wheels to stay in contact with the ground. Your vehicle, like most straight trucks, uses rear-wheel drive. When your cargo box is empty, you have less traction over your drive wheels and therefore less control. Note: when your vehicle has a leaf spring suspension system, it is easy to overbrake when you're deadheading. This is because the springs are stiff and react strongly when applied, making them more sensitive than usual, especially when your vehicle has air brakes. Pressing the brakes too hard can cause your wheels to lock and your vehicle to bounce, losing even more traction with the road. When traveling with a light load or no load, reduce your speed and always give yourself extra following room and stopping distance. Controlling a skid. The best way to control a skid is to prevent it from happening. However, even the most defensive driver should know how to control a skid in case of an emergency. Henry says how you respond to an emergency can affect the outcome. When you detect a threat, your body produces stress hormones that go to your brain and reduce your ability to think logically, putting the emotional part of your brain in charge. It is important to stay in control of your emotions if you lose control of the vehicle. Do the following. Stay calm. Take a deep breath to reduce your stress hormones and calm down. This activates your ability to think logically again, which can help you identify an escape path and execute the steps you need to take to stay safe. Take your foot off the brake. Release the brakes to regain traction and steer your vehicle towards the escape path. Keep your hands on the wheel. Resist the instinct to shield your face and body from danger, and keep your hands on the wheel to stay in control. Look only where you want to go and steer in that direction. You instinctively steer where you look. Resist the urge to look at the danger or obstacle ahead and instead keep your eyes focused on the direction you want to travel. If your vehicle skids, if you over-accelerated, ease off the throttle. If you over-braked, release the brakes. Push the clutch in if you have a manual transmission. If your vehicle starts to fishtail, release the brakes or throttle. Gently steer in the direction the rear of your vehicle is moving. Be careful not to oversteer. Brake gently and smoothly only once your vehicle is straight. If your vehicle spins out, release the brakes or throttle. Shift into neutral or push in the clutch to eliminate power to your wheels. Once your vehicle has slowed, straighten out. Evasive steering. You're nearing the off-ramp that takes you to your next destination when an oncoming vehicle drifts into your lane. You don't have enough time to brake. Edgar guides you to steer around the obstacle. Evasive steering is faster than braking and can also be safer when there isn't enough stopping distance. There are other vehicles close behind. There is an open lane or paved shoulder to the side. The first step is to identify a clear opening. If you've been scanning properly and monitoring your mirrors, you will already have an escape path. A paved shoulder is safest as there won't be other traffic. Remember, keep your eyes fixed in the direction you want to travel, not on the object you are trying to avoid. Brake if possible. If it's safe to do so, brake before attempting to steer around the situation, but release the brakes before the evasive steering maneuver. Do not do both at the same time. Your wheels will lock and you will continue to move forwards even if you're turning the wheel. Steer around the situation. Turn the wheel as little as possible to avoid oversteering, but up to 180 degrees. The faster you are going, the less you will need to turn the wheel. Immediately countersteer. Once you have cleared the obstacle, immediately turn the wheel in the opposite direction to keep your vehicle from going off the road. Steer and countersteer in one smooth motion. Straighten out. Bring your wheel back to center to straighten your vehicle. If your vehicle drifts onto a soft shoulder, try to keep one set of wheels on the pavement for greater traction. Steer straight and do not brake. Take your foot off the gas, and then when you have regained control, turn the wheels to return to the road and countersteer to stay straight. Curves and forces. You manage to avoid the other vehicle and see your exit approaching. The exit ramp, like many other curves and corners you will face on your journey, is a hot spot for rollovers due to the combination of speed and the curved roadway. You recall the multiple forces that will be acting on your vehicle as you round the corner. Your vehicle has a high center of gravity that can cause your vehicle to tip when changing direction. Inertia will try to keep your vehicle moving in a straight line while you attempt to turn. Centrifugal force will push your vehicle in an outward direction, away from the curve. Michael reminds you these forces become greater with speed at the same time as traction decreases. He shows you what can happen if you don't watch your speed. Action. Entering a curve too fast. Risk skidding or a rollover. Action braking around a curve risk. Skidding or spinning out. Types of curves and corners. Highway entry and exit ramps. Sharp turns. Turns on inclines or declines, i.e. mountainous regions. Intersections. Roundabouts. Negotiating curves. As you prepare to take the exit ramp, you think about your cargo and your vehicle's center of gravity. The cargo was loaded and secured correctly, and you did an en route cargo securement inspection, so you know it is evenly distributed. This will help your center of gravity stay stable as you round the corner. Getting through this final hurdle will require help from all four of your mentors. Reduce your speed before entering the curve. Brake only while traveling in a straight line. The sharper the curve, the slower you should go. Keep your eyes focused on the inside of the curve. Look to where the center line of the road disappears. Maintain a constant speed in the curve. Once you reach the apex, midpoint of the curve, gently accelerate. Pay attention to posted road signs. Speed limits may change around curves, and you should go slower than the legal limit in a heavy vehicle and in poor weather conditions. Review. No need for speed. You successfully negotiated the curved off-ramp and are now one step closer to saving the world economy. Although your deadline is approaching, driving slowly helped you stay aware of your surroundings, as well as keep your schedule and your vehicle on track by overcoming the forces working against you. You think about the lessons you learned from each of your mentors. Posted road signs are the legal limits for automobiles in good weather conditions. With a heavy vehicle, you should drive slower than the legal limit, especially when other hazards are present, like in school zones, construction zones, and when you're naturally fatigued. Michael. Air brakes have more stopping power than hydraulic brakes. But no matter what braking systems you have, you can reduce your stopping distance, determined by your reaction time plus your braking distance, by reducing your speed. Brake gradually to avoid overheating, and always make sure your brakes are aligned before departing. Sudden, hard movements that change the speed or direction of your vehicle can cause skidding, especially when traveling with a light load or no load. The best way to prevent a skid is to avoid these types of movements and to drive slowly to increase traction. Wet and slippery road conditions and higher speeds reduce your wheel's traction. Drive slowly to increase your grip on the road, especially around corners and curves. Evasive steering can be safer than stopping, provided you have a clear opening to your sides. Remember to look where you want to go, steer in that direction, and immediately countersteer before straightening out. The faster you drive, the more your brain has to tune out your peripheral vision to concentrate on what's ahead. Slowing down prevents you from becoming blind to what's happening to your sides. If you begin to lose control of your vehicle, stay calm, keep your hands on the wheel, and look where you want to go.